Hi guys, and welcome back to this tutorial. So again, in the previous section I gave you the plan for the tutorial, which is to create an island based on the standard assets provided with Unity. So in this section we'll actually start to create the island. So to start with, we're going to create a brand new scene, so file new scene, and again it's going to be a 3D scene because the island will be three-dimensional. So again, press create. So once this is done, you should have a brand new window. And again, once this window opens, which I hope won't take too long, again, yes, you have your main camera and your directional light. Okay, so you get all these elements. To start with, we'll create what is called a terrain. So again, I will go to Game Object, 3D Object, and Terrain, which is exactly there. All right. So as you create this terrain, by default, again, the name will be terrain. And then you have several options. So the first thing I'd like to do for this terrain is to again add a bit of a texture. So I'm going to go back to where I was before, which is basically to get my texture. Take this texture here and again drag and drop it inside Unity. Okay, so take it, switch to Unity and drag it in the assets. Okay, so right there. Okay, so you can see that my game map outline is right here. You can see the design with the different squares, the color for the water, and also the path. All right, so everything is there. The next thing I need to do is to start to prepare my terrain to be painted and to be, I suppose, modified and transformed. So the first thing, if I click on this terrain here, you can see I've got different options. Some of them are for trees, foliage, and settings. For now, I will use what is called the paint tool. So okay, I'm going to click on this button and choose the option which is called raise or lower terrain. So again, this will make it possible for us to be able to modify the height of the terrain. So again, whenever you choose these options, I'm going to change slightly and go back to it again. That's it. Oh, sorry. Even before that, I need to set the height of the terrain. Sorry. So again, before you can carve the terrain, it has to have some depth. So again, here the height is by default 50, which is fine. So again, I can flatten here. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing I need to do is to apply my texture to this terrain. So again, I'm going to go to Paint Texture, and here, for some reason, you already have a layer. So again, you might not have that initially. So what you need to do is to yes, it's to go to edit and go to create layer. So when you create a layer, basically you can start with game map, and again it will list two different textures. So again, I'm going to double click on that, and this is your layer. Is that okay? So there was a layer previously because I was doing some testing, but again the procedure is to add a brand new layer. Once you have this brand new layer, again what you can do is to edit it this way, and you have loads of different options. So again, edit terrain layers is there, your layer is there, and again you have a lot of different options. Okay, so again, if I'm still on the paint tool here, so if I paint it here, you might think that nothing is painted, but if you go a bit closer, what you should see is that my texture is repeated many times. In fact, it's repeated 1,000 times. So again, what you want is this texture to fill the full terrain. Therefore, what you need to do is to make a size of 1,000 on the X and 1,000 for Y. Okay, and now, hang on a second there. Now we should be okay, right? So again, by putting 1,000 here, 1,000 here, it just means that it has to stretch over 1,000 on the X and 1,000 on the Z axis. The reason for this 1,000 is because your terrain is 1,000 by 1,000 by default. Okay, so that's the reason why. All right. So again, and you should be able to check this information in the settings for your terrain. So again, I'm going to leave it there this way, but by default, again, it's going to be 1,000 by 1,000. So at this stage, I've got my texture ready, and what I need to do is to start to carve around my island. So I'm going to just use the pan tool to move my island, and then I'm going to focus on a specific area, which is, I'm going to start with this corner. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in, move a bit, and zoom in. Okay, and I will change my tool. So again, click on the terrain here and change my tool to what is called a raise or lower terrain. Once I click on this guy here, I've got my brush there, and if I press it, it will lower, it will actually increase the height of my terrain. You can actually see that if I rotate a small bit. but in my case I want to lower the terrain because it's water. So in this case I'm going to press shift, and now I can start to carve my terrain. Is that okay? So press shift, you can see that now it's starting to carve your terrain. So the idea is to carve around. You can change the radius of your brush if you want to, and to go all around the island and to carve around the edges. Okay, so that basically anything that deals with water is lowered for this specific scene. Okay, so again, use the shift key and drag and drop your mouse around the island, and again in the next section I will show you it has been done. Something that might be interesting as well is just to show you basically how to create a lake. So again, if I switch my view here and focus on the lake, the only thing I need to do for the lake is to basically use, again, go back to the terrain here and use again this tool here, the brush tool, raise or lower terrain, and again I could increase the brush size there, so it's matching basically the size of my lake. A bit more now, that's it. Okay, and now I'm going to press the shift key and start to carve around. Okay, so again, that's the idea. All right, so again I'm going to do that. I'm going to go around the island as well, and in the next tutorial we'll move on from there to creating a mountain.